Today, we're going to talk about what loadout you should be rocking in Counter-Strike 2 because of the changes they made to the game where you can only select a certain amount of weapons to come into each and every game with. I'm going to show you today what weapons you should be equipping, which ones you should be avoiding, so that you are set up for success and can start playing like a professional player. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. I post videos every single day, so never miss out on any pro tips and tricks. I have lots of good content in the past and lots of good content coming out every single day. So let's go ahead and start with the CT side here, and you'll have to excuse my webcam. I put it up here in the top left. It might be blocking the player model, but I think it's okay. So let's just go ahead and talk about the starting pistol. So this is totally preference. If you are newer to the game though, I would recommend the USP. This is what most players tend to use in the game. I'd say about 30-20%, maybe even less, use the P2K. Essentially, the USP is just going to be a silenced, quiet version with less ammo and one less bullet per ammo, but it's going to provide you that quiet and sneaky surprise to catch the other team off guard, if you catch what I'm saying. So I would use the USP if you're newer to the game. Now for the other pistols, guys, what you kind of want to rock here is definitely the dual Berettas. These can be insane on pistol round. You can drop them to your teammates or you can use them. Definitely the P250 because this is a great budget option to use. And then this is where it kind of comes into preference. If you are a new player, throw on the 5.7. The 5.7 is very good. If you're a more experienced type of player, maybe you throw on the CZ instead of the 5.7. That could be a good option as well. But for 80-90% of the players out there, throw on the 5.7 and call it a day. That is good. Now, also, you want to have the Deagle. The Deagle is just a very good pistol to have. Very solid. Get those one digs, one shot, one kills. Tilt the other team, make them so upset at you. Now, the one pistol that you do not want to use, absolutely not, is going to be, let's try to find it down here, the R8 revolver. This R8 revolver is just garbage, to be honest. It does have a purpose, right? It's two shotgun, but it's just weaker than the Deagle in every single way. Never use this thing, avoid it. Let's not even talk about it. Now let's go ahead and move on to mid tier. This is where you can have a more unique loadout. I like the Mag 7. I think the Mag 7 is a very solid weapon. I do see a lot of people throwing on the Nova too though. But for me, I have the Mag 7 for close range, and then I have the auto shotgun, which you have to have this equipped. The auto shotgun is so good inside this game right now, so make sure whatever shotguns you're using, you have the auto shotgun. But I would recommend using two shotguns. So for me, like I said, close range, Mag 7, long range, auto shotgun. That's how I see it. Some people might feel like putting the Nova instead of the Mag 7 slot, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to personal preference, and for me, that's the loadout I like. And then go ahead and throw in 3 SMGs, in my opinion. That's what I did. You might, be comfortable replacing the P90 with the Negev down here. Where's it at? With the Negev, that could be an okay loadout choice too. For me, I just don't use the Negev. I don't like it that much, so I don't have it equipped. But honestly, that's not bad. Maybe I'll rock this loadout. The MP7 though is absolutely insane. I love the gun. It's so good. So I always have the MP7 equipped. And then you need to have the MP9 on your loadout because it is just an absolute beast of a gun. And especially for you new players, the difficulty of this gun is 0. It's so easy to use. It's so easy to learn. So definitely throw that on there. The only thing I would never throw on for the mid-tier loadout is the M249 and the PP Bison. Those guns are just useless. They're not very good. You would throw on the MP5 instead of the MP7. That has a place in the game, but yeah, don't touch these two guns. The PP Bison and M249, get those out of there. Now lastly, for CT side, let's move on to rifle. Now guys, this is what you want to do. Go ahead and throw the FAMAS on there as your eco kind of rifle, your rifle that you're going to choose when you don't have the funds necessary to get an M4. If if this is where it comes down to personal preference though. For me, I have the M4A1S, the Scout, and the AUG, right? Now, what you can do is you could actually replace the AUG or the Scout, one of these two, with the M4A4 now, which is a very unique strategy I see people using. Is instead of having the A1S or the A4, they actually have both enabled depending on the map and depending on the round, how they're feeling the game. And maybe they don't have the AUG equipped, or maybe they don't have the Scout equipped. It's just you can have that. It's all down to personal preference. If you're a newer player to the game, I would recommend just using the M4A1S. It's cheaper. The spray pattern is way easier to learn, especially in Counter-Strike 2. It's very random right now. So I would keep it like this, and make sure, guys, you always have the op. Your teammates are going to need drop the op. You might be using it. I would always have it equipped. There's no reason not to. So even if you don't use it, put it on there. Let's move on to the T side now, though. For your starting pistol, you have 0 options. You have the Glock. You got to use it, right? For other pistols though, it's going to be very similar to the CT side. So dual Berettas, P250, very good to use to have on here. And then I would throw on the Tech 9. The Tech 9 is broken right now. Do not use the CZ if you're on T side right now. Do not touch that gun, right? The CZ is just not as effective on T side. So definitely, especially if you're new to this game, keep the Tech 9 on. And then make sure you have the deagle as well. Don't use the R8 like I said before. Now for mid tier, this is where it gets a little bit different because of the selection of guns that we have. T side, never throw on a Negev. A Negev on T side is so useless. Never ever use it. So that's not even an option. Also, another thing that is very useless on T side, in my opinion, is the sawed off. Now I know there's little gimmick plays and tricks you can do with it, but the sawed off is just so bad, man. It's just so bad, and I just would not be using it if I was you. But it's very similar to like get your P90. A P90 on T side can actually be very effective. So surprisingly, the P90 is actually pretty sick. The MP7, like I said, is just a very good gun. And the Mac 10, you have to have the Mac 10. This gun is broken. It only costs about $1,050. It's insane for your economy, and it's just a must-have. So definitely use the Mac. It's gonna tilt the other team. The auto shotgun, like I said, is just broken. I could see how instead of the UMP here, you buy a Nova. You know, it's not going to be very useful, but for me, I don't like the UMP anyways. So you could put a Nova in here too if you wanted, or if you want, you could put a PP Bison in here just for the psychological damage that you could do to the other team. I think that'd be a good decision. I might rock with that anyways because I don't use the UMP. So maybe the Bison's the play. Let's move on to rifles though. This is going to be our last section we talk about. So what you have to have is the Galil, the AK, and the AWP. These three rifles you need to have on your T side because they are just so vital for your success, right? These are going to be the guns you're buying or dropping to teammates. If you don't have these, you're just trolling the game. Now, I think that the Scout on T side 2 can, depending on the map, just be kind of useless. Like if you're playing Inferno, don't buy a Scout on T side. Like if I was playing Inferno, I might actually switch this out for something else. I mean, I don't know though. T side rifleage is kind of weak. I'm not going to lie. Like the only thing we could really trade this out for is a auto sniper. So I guess we'll keep the Scout because the T side auto sniper is just even more useless than the Scout, because if you give it to the CT side, you're just throwing. So in my opinion, I would never have the T side auto. Just never even equip it. Now, one thing that's actually becoming better is the SG because it has the scope, right? Obviously, it's the COD gun. So I don't know, try it out. But I mean, essentially at the end of the day, just use these loadouts. I'll show you my CT one again. These are what I use. You could throw on the CT side auto sniper here in place of the AUG or something too if you wanted. But yeah, go ahead and play with these loadouts. If you're a new player to the game, this is going to be what you should be using if you want to find success and get better. I know it can be confusing now because you have to pick and choose what guns you use, but that's what I'm here for, guys. So like I said, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Let's keep grinding every single day. Thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. It means so much, baby. So let's keep it up, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.